It's a Star Wars podcast, baby, talking to you about the world of Star Wars. My name is Darth David. Hello. We're going to be spending some time together discussing Star Wars. Programming note, Yaddle Chattle's off next week. I initially brought back Yaddle Chattle simply because of the Acolyte. I used to do the show with Jedi Jared, in case you're wondering. Jedi Jared was murdered by Leslye Headland, and that's why he's no longer here. I can finally reveal to you that Leslye Headland hit Jedi Jared with a car. Potentially, allegedly. I don't want to get sued. Allegedly. Leslye Headland hit my former co-host, Jedi Jared, with an automobile. I was told it was a Lexus, and it happened in Beverly Hills. So we're going to be looking at Leslye Headland today. We're going to be looking at some Star Wars, other non-Acolyte, non-Leslye Headland news. But specifically, we're going to take a deep dive into that now infamous Collider article that just gets worse and worse the more you read it. I had a couple sentences and quips and quotes from that Collider article for last week, but just the thought of Leslye Headland and her face, and Kathleen Kennedy's stupid face, and all of these stupid corporate executives who know jack and shit about Star Wars, I just couldn't do it. I had to tap out. So today we do the deep dive. But I believe Yaddle Chattle will be off next week. I need to take off next week. Davey Max Sports program will be up there. We just released a new Davey Max Tales from the Satellite where I discuss my 10-year Ron and Fez, Opie and Anthony career on Sirius XM. That we just had a new episode where I had pericarditis, heart infection that nearly killed me, and I called into Ron and Fez all high on Percocets and Vicodin and oxycodones. We play the audio, we dissect the phone call, so that's a great episode. Go check that out exclusively on patreon.com/eastside. They have the YouTube channel. We got all kinds of shit between the DMSP. And we just put out a new Eastside Davidson wrestling show on Saturday. We looked at SummerSlam. My Lord, who knows wrestling the way me and Stanley Mack do? Almost all of our predictions turned out to be true. We got everything correct. Unbelievable episode. We discussed the MJF Britt Baker controversy in AEW as well with that. So just make sure you're checking everything out, okay? But next week, we're going to take a Yaddle off. We're taking a Yaddle off because I don't want to be angry about Star Wars. I don't want to just be all upset about Star Wars. Do you understand? I love Star Wars. I have literally since I was born. A little info about me. I, Darth David, have 3 older brothers, okay? So my mom was pregnant with me, okay, in 1977 when she took my 3 older brothers to a little movie called Star Wars. I was born in November of 77. I have no memory of The Empire Strikes Back. I was told I was there. I'm being honest. No memory. I was fucking 2.5. How the hell am I going to remember that shit? My first movie theater memory is Return of the Jedi, May 1983, when I was 5.5 years old. That is my first movie theater of any kind memory. I also have distinct memories of seeing Star Wars on HBO when it came out, and then one of my first memories, probably the first documentary I ever watched, truly, was that 1984 doc hosted by Mark Hamill. What was it? From Star Wars to Jedi, and was featured on PBS. I taped it. I watched it. I fucking loved it. Also played the original Star Wars Nintendo game, and then the Super Nintendo Star Wars games, which were just called Super Star Wars. And they were fantastic. Went on to read the Timothy Zahn novels and become so obsessed with Star Wars that at one point I had this fantastic cassette player that had the fucking yellow and white auxiliary cord output, input, and I realized, shit, if I take a yellow and white auxiliary cord, run it from my cassette player to the TV, I can play Star Wars VHS, right? and I can tape the audio off the television. So that when we went on giant long rides, I had my stupid little 1980s Walkman. But you know what I had? I had Star Wars audio, 6 hours of fucking Star Wars audio for the whole trip. I'd listen to them like a little radio drama, only it was the actual movies themselves. It still worked. Plus, we've all seen Star Wars 8,000 times, so because of that, your head knows what's happening all throughout. This was brilliant. I then, after reading the Timothy Zahn books, was very excited when the prequel trilogy came out. I love those. I support all the shows and movies, at least with my patronage. I support everything that is a show, a movie, animated series, multiple Star Wars tattoos, lightsaber. This is a rebel thing with space. I also forgot this one. This is the symbol for the Jedi. Okay. And yet somehow if we don't like Leslye Headland's Acolyte, we are shitty Star Wars fans. That is, I've been, in the past 2 weeks, I've been called a casual fan, not a real Star Wars fan, troll. You know, it takes, I don't know, folks, a couple minutes of research. Go back and watch Acolyte. Go back and watch or listen. Because all of these Yaddle Chattles, not only are they available on YouTube, but they're on your little iTunes and your Spotify and your Amazon Musics and so on and so forth. Go back and listen to them for a couple years ago. You're going to hear one of the happiest, most glowing Star Wars shows on the planet because we only give sincere takes here. And if it's awesome, we're going to say, this is fucking great. And if it's bad, we're going to say, this is fucking shite. And it's happening more and more with Star Wars is all anyone's point is. Bad decisions. For me, the trifecta of killing off Luke Skywalker in Episode 8. I like Episode 8, weirdly enough. Just didn't like Luke getting killed. The Bad Batch, total fucking bait and switch. They had us believing we were going to be seeing fucking 18. And instead, we got yet another show where there's some fucking kid who's the moral compass, and she's telling grown adults who are battle-hardened what to fucking do. Sound familiar? Omega, Ezra, Ahsoka, they're becoming the same character now. We don't need too many more teenagers or kids in Star Wars, although we're getting a whole fucking crew of kids with the Skeleton Crew. I think Star Wars needs to really look closely and say, what has worked? Mando's worked. Episode 7, we gotta say, has worked. Andor has worked. What are they doing that is better than the rest? In the case of Andor, it was telling Star Wars for adults. In the case of Mando, it's channeling into the George Lucas hopeful, positive, fun Star Wars. And in Episode 7, I thought that was a fun, well-crafted movie, and then just it all went to shit. But we got to get back to, you make Star Wars for people of all ages, not just for kids and not just for teenagers and not just for women who want the first ever sex scenes in Star Wars, Leslye Headland. You're going to hear some fucking quotes in this shit that is just straight up insane. Let me just say this real quick, though, before we get into Leslye, our good friend Leslye. Oh my God, do I have so many quotes. I'm not going to read them all. I got a lot. Let me just say, Skeleton Crew's coming out. I'm going to be open-minded. I hope we all are. I hope the show is fucking fantastic. I do. We're being told time and time again, it's like Goonies, Star Wars. That's fine. My one thing is, after reading in depth this Leslye Headland article, we must consider stop looking to other movies or other franchises as Star Wars influences. Yes, I know that George Lucas was fucking influenced by the Seven Samurai, by Flash Gordon, by John Wayne Westerns, and he was. The Watchers is the John Wayne Western that is beat for beat. John Wayne goes back and sees his house burned down at one point, looks down on the ground. It's beat for beat. Luke Skywalker in episode 4 seeing the Skywalker home range, or the Lars really, home, and seeing Lars and Aunt Beru, poor Aunt Beru, and poor Uncle Owen, seeing them fried. That's right out of the John Wayne thing. But again, the point is, George was inspired by that shit, right? But now he created the Star Wars, the rules, the ideas, the spectrums, shit, even the influences. Like, I understand that people are going to be influenced by shit. Maybe if you Leslye Headland, for you, because folks, you're going to be the amount of movie references that Leslye Headland bestows upon us is insane. It's overwhelming. And you go, does she have any original thoughts of her own? Also, some of the movie references are just fucking lame, or they're not appropriate for Star Wars. If you're so smart, Leslye, and half of this shit feels like someone who just wants to brag about their film knowledge or that they went to film school. Quite frankly, I feel like she's trying to convince a lot of people that she's smart, or at least she's convinced that she is a genius, and she needs to talk to us about the very art of cinema, not just Star Wars. My point is, A, get someone way more talented than Leslye Headland. B, if you're going to be influenced, look at the same influences that George did then, because that'll keep it Star Wars. So look at Kurosawa, and look at John Ford movies, and look at the fucking Flash Gordons and shit like that. If you need inspiration because you don't have it upstairs creatively, then why not look at George's influences, and maybe that will help you in fucking telling stories that feel like Star Wars shit. Because this didn't feel like Acolyte's not Star Wars, it's Twilight. We all know it. Or it's a Nickelodeon Junior show. You know? Or it's fucking 50 Shades of Grey. Or it's fucking, some other fucking shit that, yeah, it exists. And yeah, they've all made money. But it doesn't fit in Star Wars. And she can't comprehend this. Here's the article from Collider. And I don't want to throw the journalist under the bus. Her name is Maggie Lovett. But her last name made me crack up. Lovett. And the reason why I'm laughing at that myself is because she literally starts every question to Leslye Headland with, I love The Stranger. Can you tell me? I love Basil. I love the juxtaposition of Ocean May. I love Saul. I love fucking Nordhorn. I love it. Does anyone know how to be journalists anymore? You don't ask questions if you're a serious journalist with all this fucking a big preface. And especially not some glowing, bullshitty, ass-kissing preface of, I love everything about this, and what was the idea behind it? Every question's the same from this Maggie Lovett, with all due respect. Okay? You want to be taken seriously? Just fucking ask a question. From the very beginning, Leslye Headland explains what she's trying to do with the show. Okay? For instance, with Chimere. And I'm only going to call him Chimere. You know why? Because that's his fucking name, right? From the beginning of the show, his name was Chimere. Now we have this weird rebrand where in all these articles, Leslye Headland refers to him as the Stranger, and so do all the fucking journalists who have to kiss her fucking dirty ass in order to get fucking free passes to the Star Wars premiere next August or whatever the shit it is. Okay? His name is Chimere. Is this not a perfect microcosm of Leslye Headland herself? She does everything backwards. The guy's name should have been then the Stranger at the beginning of the show. And then maybe reveal himself to be Chimere. Not we call him Chimere, and now all of a sudden he's rebanded at the Stranger. Well, he's not a stranger. His name is Chimere because you told us that, you fucking dummy. It's just so annoying. So here's The Stranger. Leslye Headland says, my idea for The Stranger, quote, he's got to have some sort of cover. There's some sort of cover story for him. Even if we know it's him within the world of the show, other people have to underestimate him. So the beginning of the character was Drunken Cat from Come Drink With Me. This master who's essentially masquerading as this drunk. I'm assuming it's a foreign film, maybe, I don't know, some sort of kung fu movie or something. Little by slowly, throughout the movie, Golden Swallow, she's still talking about Come Drink With Me. Golden Swallow, the lead, underestimates him, and little by little, he's feeding her information. He's on her side. Then it's revealed that he is this revealed master. It's a striking change. Okay? So there's our first movie references. Come Drink With Me. Drunken Cat. That's Chimere. Okay. You know who he also reminds me of? A character called Yoda, who was disguised as a little fucking bum in Empire Strikes Back. A little fucking cackling, goddamn weirdo stealing breadsticks out of Luke's fucking unappetizing looking TV dinner tray. Okay? Now, I don't know about you, but even if it's a TV dinner, don't touch my goddamn breadsticks. Okay, first of all, Darth David needs at least 4 TV dinners just to get full. So if I only have one TV dinner like Luke Skywalker had in Empire Strikes Back and you touch a breadstick or anything for that matter, I'm fucking pissed off. I might take out my lightsaber. And we might have an issue right then and there. But she's naming all these movies, again, to be smart. She didn't just think of Yoda. She could have just said he's doing a reverse Yoda, where he's pretending he's a commoner, and then we're going to find out he's a thing. Shit, you could even make the argument Palpatine was doing the same thing. Now, he wasn't just some, shitty guy the way Yoda was or Chimere was pretending to be. He was an actual senator and then prime minister or whatever the fuck. But, we've seen people do this, is the point. But she's got to go with Come Drink With Me. Okay, Come Drink With Me. This is a bizarre thing. So this is what Chimere, this is how he goes. Ready? According to Leslye Headland, the 4 stages of Chimere, The Stranger, are, quote, buffoon, terrifying villain, seductive possible teacher, and then finally romantic lead. Buffoon, terrifying villain, seductive teacher, and romantic lead. What the fuck? You can have 2 of those. You can have the guy pretending that he's a buffoon, but then if he's pretending to be a buffoon and he becomes the terrifying villain, that's it. The same guy who's the terrifying villain is the seductive possible teacher. So a teacher who's trying to seduce a student, that's fucking highly inappropriate. And in some places, it's actually illegal. And I'm not trying to bring up that her former boss was Harvey fucking Weinstein. I nearly said Harvey Firestein, and I apologize to you, Harvey Firestein. You better apologize. I was wonderful in Tootsie. Yes, you were, Harvey Firestein. Harvey Weinstein, though, not good in Tootsie. Actually an evil fucking human being. But doesn't that sound interesting, that Chimere, the stranger, goes from buffoon, murderer, gentle teacher, then romantic lead. Seductive possible teacher, then romantic lead. This is what she writes. She does, and I love all the cursing in these interviews because she's a badass, man. She's badass, man. This is a woman who wants to be Quentin Tarantino. For real, folks. And Tarantino, and I am a massive Quentin Tarantino fan. And we know he made a lot of movies with Miramax, okay? I don't shit on Tarantino and Kevin Smith for fucking, having their films be a part of a movie studio, and then it turns out, oh, the guy's fucking evil. It's like blaming a WWE for all the fucking evil ass shit that Vince McMahon did in 2020 and 2021. A lot of these wrestlers had no idea what the fuck was going on. So she writes about this after saying that this is Chimere, buffoon, terrifying villain, seductive possible teacher, and the romantic lead. She writes, quote, who the fuck are we going to get for this part? Who is going to be able to do this? Close quote. See, Leslye, the reason why you're cursing and saying who the fuck is going to be able to do this, and that was Manny Jacinto, is because the character sucks. It is contradictory. It is all over the place. It is nonsensical, just like the show. Just like the show, Les. I obviously loved The Good Place and saw Manny Jacinto in 9 Perfect Strangers. And I was like, I said to my wife, quote, who is that? So now she's talking about how she found Manny Jacinto to play Chimere, not the stranger. She says, who is that? My wife was like, I don't know. And I was like, do we know that guy? Is he our friend? Is that how we know him? We're in the industry. She's an actor. So I thought maybe we're friends with that guy. Then at some point during the episode, his name came up and I was like, Manny, that's Manny Jacinto? Are you fucking kidding me? And I thought, that's fucking him. These are her words, her direct quotes. So let's break this down. Talk about elite Hollywood superficial snob assholes. First of all, you're such a superficial industry movie fucking asshole snob that you don't actually know if this person is your real friend or not. You're saying, is he our friend? Don't take my word for it. That's what she said. Do we know that guy? Is he our friend? Is that how we know him? We're in the industry. She's an actor. So I thought, maybe we're friends with that guy. If you're such a fucking head up your ass, out of touch, Hollywood douchebag that you don't even know who your friends are, go fuck yourself. This is exactly what everyone hates about Hollywood and why the fucking Oscars sucks and the ratings have plummeted every goddamn year. Because people know why everyone mocked the fucking Wonder Woman with the stupid video of Imagine All the People, and there was a whole bunch of celebrities singing us that fucking John Lennon classic when they're all in fucking $3 billion mansions and the rest of us are living fucking hand to mouth and check to check. Same shit. I got the same vibes from that Wonder Woman shit with this. Who is that? Is he our friend? She's an actor, and I'm in the industry, so I thought maybe he's our friend. I gotta tell you, all the friends I have, I know they're my friends. I don't go, is that person my friend? I know they're my friends. I guess when you're in the movies, you're such a phony that you talk like that. Ugh. Barf. She quotes the Manny Jacinto inspiration for Manny was Heath Ledger's Joker. So do you guys remember when Heath Ledger and Maggie Gyllenhaal ran off at the end of Batman? No. I remember Joker killing Maggie Gyllenhaal. Not holding her hand while Batman's fucking dead. Fade to black. Duh! That's the inspiration. Heath Ledger, the Joker. Because she goes, the villain outlining his plan is ridiculous, but the ultimate version of that is Heath Ledger's Joker. So that's the goal. What is she even fucking talking about? Villains have revealed their plans forever. Okay? Yeah, Heath Ledger's Joker's awesome. Absolutely tremendous. But, I mean, come on, man. I can think of a couple plans where the bad guy revealed his plan. That was, like, really cool. Let's think here. The Emperor! Return of the Jedi! It's a trap. I fucking, this Death Star's operational, and now I fucked you up. And it meant something, because not only is he actually going to kill a whole bunch of rebels, he's trying to lure Luke in. He's trying to piss him off. That is a plan. That's a villain talking about his plan, but in a way that's smart, that makes sense for everybody. It's not just giving away the shit. It's like, no, here's my plan. What do you think about that? He's trying to fucking goad Luke into the dark side. Manny was giving this incredible performance all through this, and I'm like, by the way, has anyone fucking like, just the whole, I'm like, she's like, I'm like, she's like, it's like fucking listening to the Valley Girls. I'm like, how do I live up to this performance? She's so insecure, is Leslye Headland, that when an actor on her show is giving a great performance, according to her, I thought he gave a very Johnny Depp cologne commercial performance with a lot of squinting and lips pursing. Ow! I hit my funny bone. And for a Sith Lord like myself, the funny bone's actually the evil bone. Now I'm talking like Leslye Headland. That's just silly. I apologize. So think about that for a second. Think about a creator, a showrunner, a writer and a director, okay, who is threatened or at least made to feel insecure and less than confident because one of the stars of her show is delivering a great performance. That's what she says. Manny was giving this incredible performance all through this, so I'm like, how do I live up to this performance? My wife was like, what do you want to say? I was like, I want to say that people don't want me to exist as a gay woman, as a woman in this particular space, working in this wild sandbox. There was a whole crew of people who believed in me, but deep down, I felt like I am unaccepted for who I am because of what I believe in and wanting to wield my power the way I'd like without having to answer to the legion of people that just exist out there. If that ain't a whole bunch of bullshit word salad to say, fuck you, Star Wars fans, I'm writing some piece of shit autobiography memoir, and if you don't like it, go fuck off. Because that's what it says to me. A whole legion of people. Folks, this is such fucking bullshit. Bullshit! Is anyone a John Waters fan out there? I am. Hairspray, Serial Mom. Has anyone talked about, oh, fuck John Waters? He's a gay man with a nice little pencil-thin mustache. If they say that, they're assholes. So this is a lot of confessional shit, folks, in this Collider article. Go look it up. Maggie Lovett. But there's some serious fucking psychological shit that Leslye Headland needs to work on. And she needs a proper therapist. And not to be working on the problems with a fucking Star Wars show. And that's what's happening. Listen to this quote. Oh, by the way, Maggie Lovett basically says, yeah, seems like this was very personal to you. The villain is a great proxy for getting those feelings out. I mean, they're admitting it. So it's not like this is crazy fucking, oh, you're an asshole, man. Yeah. She said they're all saying it. Absolutely. This is what Leslye Headland says to that. About a villain's a great way to get your feelings out. She goes, absolutely, quote, absolutely. I very rarely put myself into the protagonist because I think the protagonist has to be the protagonist. That's the quote. I rarely put myself into the protagonist because I think the protagonist has to be the protagonist. There might be a sprinkling of me, certainly Osha and May, the family conflict, the switching of sides, being really certain that you know one thing, the betrayal of the father, the rejection of the fraternal protectionism, and saying, I am now my own person. That stuff I definitely relate with, but the stranger is my shadow self for sure. So she relates with Osha and May, but also the stranger. Chimere. You fucking asshole. Chimere's his name. Say his name, Leslye. Say his name. These fucking quotes. Is anyone else seeing this shit? Listen to this. Here's what the audience is supposed to be asking around episodes 7 and 8. Am I finding myself now rooting for the stranger, who I feel incredibly drawn to, who's made himself literally exposed? Yeah, he showed his dick. Star Wars guy standing out there with the fucking twig and berries out. That's, yep. And I'd say the same thing if it was a naked woman or a naked fucking Wookiee, a naked, well, I guess Wookiees are, as Mark Hamill said, the Wookiee should not be wearing pants, so never mind. But most creatures, I mean, if Yoda came out naked, I'd be like, get the fucking, put some fucking clothes on, you fucking green freak. Maybe I'm very puritanical in that way. I don't think I am. I like my movies a certain way. I like the R-rateds over here. I like the Tarantinos over here. I like the Scorseses. I like the Coppolas over there. And then I like the Star Wars over there. Is that so wrong to ask? She says, the audience says, who I made to feel literally exposed, and Saul has been hiding this thing. So that sort of emotional impact of like, I hate what Saul did, but this, meaning Chimere, is the bad guy. He's got the red lightsaber. What am I supposed to do? That's what we, the audience, were supposed to feel like. What am I supposed to think? Does anyone understand? These are examples of shitty writing. You never want the audience to be baffled or confused as to who they should be rooting for or emotionally connecting with. Jeez Louise. She talks about the fucking bullshit. Here's a thing. We knew it was always going to be a betrayal of the father. So she says, so how did it happen with Osha killing May? Osha killing Saul. She says, we also knew that it was always going to be betrayal of the father, even though Saul is not her dad. And I knew we had to juxtapose Luke's forgiveness and Vader's redemption. First of all, the more I think about it, shouldn't Osha have killed the fucking mom? Or one of those two moms? One of the witches, Coral or whatever. One seemed, the Coral seemed straight up evil. And Anastasia, the only actress and only character on the entire show that I thought was interesting, like, she wanted to keep, like, May there, and then she was always wishy-washy. I mean, maybe that would have, I don't know, had some resonance, but not this. This is a story about the Sith, so that's not going to happen. There's this, oh, goddamn. Here we go, Leslye Headland. Quote, there's this thing that's called benign sexism, and part of it is this paternal protectionism. It seems like this good thing, but like you said, there's this, I have to protect you from everything. I have to make sure you're okay. I have to tell you what track to get on, and then once you're on that track, I need to support you. I have to protect you from everything. I have to make sure you're okay. I have to tell you what track to get on, and once you're on that track, I need to support you. I mean, it just sounds like parenting. And actually, it sounds like pretty responsible parenting. Obviously, if the parent is telling them, like forcing the kid, no, you're not allowed to become like a screenwriter. You have to become a lawyer. Otherwise, you're banned from the family. Yes, that's one thing. But the way this reads is, I have to protect you. I have to make sure you're okay. I have to tell you what track to get on. That makes it sound like a parent who might be seeing his kid go down, or her kid go down the wrong path, making some wrong choices, hanging out with the wrong people, doing extracurricular or late night activities that maybe aren't so good for them. And the parents saying, I got to get you on track. This sounds like someone who just fucking hates her father. And that's the end of story. We got a whole fucking show of this couch shrink shit. Ultimately, what happens is, again, this is a father-daughter relationship. As women evolve in their lives and develop their own personality separate from their fathers, at some point, they have to reject that protectionism. Yes. Yeah, it's called becoming an adult. It's not necessarily guarantee you there are overprotective fathers out there. Yes, 100% they exist. But not everyone does. And honestly, come on. Just fucking come on. Just fucking come on and say this whole show is it's my life. Whether you like it or not. $180 million. I stole from fucking Bob Iger and Disney because they're asleep at the wheel. Iger is such a fucking coward, he can't change out Kathleen Kennedy at this point. She got him by the balls, apparently. He's a fucking coward. He's been castrated. It's eunuch Bob Iger now. And Kathleen Kennedy is a proud person, pride being one of the 7 deadly sins. And so she's like, well, fuck Star Wars fans. Fuck them. Fuck their loud voices. Fuck their opinions. We're just really going to go all out. And we're going to make fucking shit that I could give a shit about, because guess what? She never cared about Star Wars. She didn't produce any of these movies. She's a fucking Steven Spielberg producer. God damn it, George. Why did we do this? Maybe George should have made John Knoll the fucking head of Lucasfilm. I ain't kidding. Not only does he at least know what the fuck he's doing with ILM, but he came up with the story for Rogue One. That at least seems like a fucking creative motherfucker. Kathleen Kennedy doesn't know this shit. I have so many favorite moments in the show. I have like 100. And I'm happy to go through all of them right now. She talks like a kid sometimes. One of my favorite moments is when Saul says, I did everything because he's going to say, I love you. And not only is that a level of attachment that an unbalanced Jedi would have. Yeah, okay, it's the first thing I've agreed on. Saul is fucking not only unbalanced, Leslye, you made him into a sobbing asshole psychopath. He's clearly losing it in the last half of the season. He lost it throughout the whole show. The first 2 episodes where he was interesting, he was still forlorn and depressed and regretful. We thought that made for an interesting character. Actually, the next 6 episodes, he stayed the same way. One note, depressing. Saul is the single most depressing character in the history of Star Wars, if not movies. What a depressing, sad sack of a character. The daughter has to surpass him in some way. She cannot stay a little girl or an adolescent or a young adult. She has to at some point say, I reject what you have told me I need to do to make you proud, to follow in your footsteps. Oh my God. That's one way to look at it. Other ways to look at it is that as we mature in life, go from kids to teenagers to young adults to full-on adults, we just mature. There doesn't always need to be this rejection process, Leslye. Yes, apparently it happened with you and your family. That's absolutely clear, sweetheart. But some people just get older, mature, and then they do their own thing. And it's not like, fuck you, Dad, and fuck you, Mom. Fuck all of you. I'm doing my own thing. I need to reject both of you people. This is the best. You ready for this, folks? I am so serious about this one. This is the best. They are talking about the lightsaber duels. And then they talk about OSHA with the blue lightsaber that turns red. That's all they're talking about. When OSHA picks up the blue lightsaber and it turns red because she's gone to the dark side. And this is what Leslye Headland said. Without getting too explicit, James' friend, who was the DP of that episode, when he shot looking into the lightsaber, we've always seen the lightsaber as a... And then the interviewer, Maggie Lovett, interjects something you're not supposed to do as a journalist. You let the person finish their sentence. You don't give them the fucking words. By the way, that's Journalism 101, which I took at Monmouth University. But nevertheless, she goes, when James' friend was looking into the lightsaber, we've always seen the lightsaber as a, and Maggie Lovett says, phallic symbol. Leslye Headland agrees. Quote, exactly. You said it, not me. To look inside it. To look down it. To see it. So, they see lightsabers as dicks, despite the fact that we saw many female Jedi throughout the prequel trilogy, and then Rey! So what is she saying about Rey? Is she calling her some kind of name? Is Leslye Headland being misogynistic, weirdly misogynistic against Rey? Who is holding a lightsaber because apparently Rey now is holding a large penis that's glowing. I'm not saying this shit. Leslye Headland's saying this shit. The rest of us see lightsabers. Leslye sees dicks. This is all real. Go check out the fucking Collider article. Fucking Leslye Headland, Maggie Lovett. Go look at it. I love enemies to lovers. She's talking about Chimere and OSHA. I love enemies to lovers who have held blades to each other's throats. Oh, this is Maggie Lovett saying that. Yeah, remember when I told you I love it? She goes, I love enemies to lovers who have blades to each other's and lightsabers to each other's. That's really my bread and butter. I really love that we get this moment where he goes to offer a gentle touch and she's like, psych! I also really loved about that moment is that killing somebody is a very violent act inherently and is usually met by further violence. Except in this case, when OSHA kills Saul, I don't know what the fuck either of these two Nimrods are trying to say. But yeah, some of these fucking things. She says Darth Plagueis, the influence was Gollum. Fellowship of the Ring. You don't want to totally reveal the character design right now, but you definitely want to see enough of it that you understand this is going to be a player. Again, I mean, yeah, we can all see that now, can't we? But again, is that what we wanted? If she had access to Darth Plagueis, this whole stupid fucking show should have been Darth Plagueis and fucking Chimere. Or honestly, he is not that good of an actor. Darth Plagueis and Anastasia, his acolyte. And they're both two motherfucking Sith people. And he trained... Do we even know what Sith training looks like? I brought this up before. I want to see a Sith training session. I want to see Sith becoming Sith. I want to see what the fucking, Sith meditating. I want to see all this fucking weird Sith shit. Basically, I want to see the reverse of Luke and Yoda, Dagobah. That's all we had to do with this show. Plagueis and Anastasia as an evil fucking person. Doing Sith shit. Fuck all of the Jedi. They never need to be a part of this show because they're weak-ass pussies. I love all the different influences that you've talked about. Oh, this is, of course, our good friend Maggie Lovett. Her last name, Love It, because I love... she starts every question with, I love. Here's another one. I love all the different influences that you have talked about throughout these interviews. Crimson Peak, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Any other visual or story influences? Don't ask this question. She's going to name like 1,000 movies. She didn't give anything in terms of that because she's already told us at least 40 films that she's referenced while making this unoriginal, apparently, show. She says she grew up loving High Republic. She says, having read the High Republic since the initiative started, I feel like I've watched Vanestra grow up. And now I'm like, girl, you've become the very thing that the Jedi were not trying to be. Oh, that's Maggie Lovett. And she says, yeah. She says, that to me juxtaposes an arc like Osha's. Vanestra. To me, it was just so cool to do this tragic arc for Vanestra, which is that she goes from this prodigy, optimistic, inventive, and creating her light whip, her hyperspace visions. There's just these beautiful things about her. Why didn't we see any of this shit? Hyperspace visions, optimism, inventive attitude. We saw none of this. I know I didn't read the High Republic. Shame on me. Take me to fucking Star Wars jail. Or I'm a busy motherfucker who actually has read countless Star Wars shit and watches and listens to countless Star Wars shit. And I'm sorry, I've never been grabbed by the High Republic fiction. And this is probably the reason why. Because if the Acolyte is any indicator about the High Republic, then the High Republic sucks ass. And I've been right about avoiding it all this time. Well, we didn't see any of this Vanestra. Okay? This was the fucking point that we've been trying to say for time and time again. We didn't see any of these people be good. We didn't see them be heroic. We didn't see them be kind. We didn't see them have good attitudes. We didn't see enthusiasm. We didn't see an adventurous spirit. Every single one of these Jedi were just some fucking lame assholes who were sad. Ugh. So she says it's very clear that the Jedi, she says it's not a blanket. Jedi are the bad guys. It's saying, she's talking about the senator, David Harewood, when he has that talk with Vanestra. And she says, he's saying, I think that you have too much power. I'm not saying you guys are bad guys. I'm saying you have too much power. And it's something that no one is looking into right now, except for the senator and a whole entire room full of senators. So, Episode 1, Phantom Menace, fuck off. Go fuck yourselves. At least that's what's going on here. Because Episode 1, I thought all the senators were very, very cool with the Jedi. That they all looked at the Jedi as these wonderful protectors of the galaxy and even the Senate themselves. Right? That's why Padme had the fucking Jedi watching over that. That's why Palpatine was, I mean, obviously he was fucking get Anakin attached to Padme, but still, that's why he offers the Jedi protection. She takes it quickly because that's their reputation. It's not, the Jedi have too much power. And if this fucking senator, 100 years before Phantom Menace, and a whole bunch of other senators in that room knew about this, then now the fucking show's timeline and all the shits that happened in Episode 1 is off. And it is off. The lore's fucked. I was always, here's fucking... Here she is, more movie talk. I was always very Kathleen fucking Headland, Hetty goddamn fucking Lesland. Hetty Lesland says, it was also very inspired by that scene in GoldenEye. She's still talking about the senator and the fucking Vernestra part. GoldenEye now, James Bond. Between James Bond and M. Judi Dench and Pierce Brosnan, what it tells the audience is that the institution of M6 is not as impressed with James Bond as you, the audience member, who sees him as the iconic character. That doesn't work with this shit, okay? They're fucking tormented spies/assassins in the James Bond franchise. This is more akin to King Arthur and his knights. Fairy tale, magic. No one is wanting to see the fucking Jedi as flawed until the prequel trilogy. Dum-dum! Oh, here we go. Maggie Lovett. Good question, Mags. And she said, first question, she didn't start with I love. She just goes straight into it. So I appreciate that. Speaking of playing both sides, I'm curious, why did Basil sabotage the ship? Leslye Headland says, I think, try to make sense of this. If you can, you win a prize. Here's what Leslye Headland says about why Basil sabotaged the ship. I think he's kind of like, what is going on with this guy? I love Basil. I wanted to give him a hero moment. I wanted Saul to be completely on edge. I think that Basil has witnessed the handcuffing. You know what I mean. Because I don't know. Because he's hiding in the ship. We don't cut to him because that would slow down this very important scene between two of the main characters. But I kind of like the idea that he came in and was like, what's going on here? That's it. That's the whole fucking explanation, because then Maggie Lovett goes into a different question and they're on into a different topic. So she never fucking gives us a reason at all. More blah, 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 blah. I think I'm smart. I think I'm smart. I think I'm smart. Please, no one see that I'm a superficial dummy moron. Gotta read it again. I love Basil. I want to give him a hero moment. I want Saul to be completely on edge. I think that Basil has witnessed the handcuffing. You know what I mean. Because he's hiding in the ship. We don't cut to him because that would slow down this very important scene between two of the main characters, Saul and May. But I kind of like the idea they came in and was like, what's going on here? So that answered absolutely nothing. But what it does say is that officially the Jedi are the bad guys. Because she said, I wanted to give Basil a hero moment. Basil sabotaged Saul, the Jedi's ship. So Basil, the person who sabotaged the Jedi, is a hero. Hence, the Jedi are bad. Boom! And I ain't paying shit to that fucking family who goes around making TikTok videos at Costco. Okay? Because I've been saying boom a lot longer than your fucking little food reviews at goddamn Costco with your boom. Okay? And with the song, we bring the boom. That's what we do. We bring the boom to all the people and you. I mean, the song is catchy. I'm not going to lie. TikTok family who goes to Costco all the time. But let me suggest something. Why just Costco? Let's expand the fucking family brand. Let's check out some other, the mall. You know, let's check out some other places. How about Acme or ShopRite? There's always got to be Costco. I'm trying to think of you folks, trying to keep the brand big. But I've been saying boom long before that family's been saying boom. Now, at the same time, we all owe money to John Madden, who said fucking boom on NFL TV beginning in like 1984. Okay? So if anyone's going to be sued, it's us. Me, Darth David, and the family from Costco. We're going to be sued by the estate of the late, great John Madden. He's no longer with us. Yeah, the whole Basil shit. Wanted to give Basil a hero moment. Sabotage the Jedi. Jedis are pieces of shit in this fucking show. You make the Jedi magical, heroic, wonderful people so that if something bad happens to Saul that's going to torment him for life, we see a tragic figure. Not start all the Jedi as sad sack fucking depressing assholes and keep them that way for the entire series. That's another example of bad writing. But you point that out, people are like, oh, yeah. No, that's bad writing. Yep. I got a few more of this fucking shit, man. It's unbelievable. She says, oh my God. So she compares Plagueis to Thanos. Okay. She says, we're in a completely different part of the timeline. Second of all, if I'm going to tell the story of Plagueis, which I would love to do, like absolutely love to do, him pursuing that power is so much more interesting as a storyline than him already having it. It would be like if you started Infinity War with Thanos having all the Infinity Stones. You're like, well, what are we going to do for 2 hours? We're just going to fight? You want to feel like we've got to stop him. We've got to get him before. Oh, no. And then it culminates. So, more movie references. Thanos is Grievous. Okay. No. You're not Kevin Feige. You're not fucking Jon Favreau. You're not all of these incredible filmmakers, the Russo brothers, so on and so forth. Okay? The folks who made Captain America, Joe Johnston of ILM, Black Panther, okay, Ryan Coogler. I mean, these are talented filmmakers. You're not one of them. Don't know why you're looking at Thanos. We understand how fucking like stories work. Yes, the bad guy's not going to have the fucking artifact at the very beginning of the movie. Yes, fucking Belloc isn't going to have the Ark of the Covenant at the very beginning of Indiana Jones. Yeah, we fucking know, Leslye. I want to talk to you about this. This is still the Thanos quote. I just want you to listen to this because this is not me. This is all Leslye Headland. So, we've got to stop him. We've got to get to him before, oh no, we're taking some L's at every point. Then it culminates. Now that he has the power, we must. And then the stakes get to raise. To me, that's just so much more interesting. Also, Maggie, I don't know if everybody's aware of this. Some women have uteruses. I have to show it to you. Because there's just no way. There's no fucking way that, like, this is real. I don't know what this means. She was literally talking about Thanos. So if this is just my stupid ass male brain, then I apologize. Honestly. I'm really serious. I apologize because I don't know what I don't understand what's happening in this fucking quote. Infinity War, Thanos, Infinity Stones. What are we going to do for 2 hours? We're just going to fight. Then it culminates. Now he has the power. Stakes get to raise. To me, that's just so much more interesting. Also, Maggie, I don't know if everybody's aware of this. Some women have uteruses. What? Wait, we do? Says Maggie. Leslye continues, quote, I don't mean to shock you. I don't want to rock your world right now. But it's not like Shmi. Oh no, she's going into prequels. It's not like Shmi was hanging out on Tatooine and Anakin just showed up. You know what I mean? She would have been like, anyway, Qui-Gon. And he was like, what happened? And she was like, well, this kid showed up at my door. She got pregnant. Coral got pregnant. If that were part of someone's ability, then they would have to somehow pursue an unknowing woman. So that power starting with women makes sense to me. The power exists out there. They do their best to harness it. They make it happen. So because Shmi Skywalker had an obvious fucking, biblical type of, Mary, Jesus, I don't know. There was no father. She says it in the thing. I thought Leslye Headland would love that. The woman had the kid with no dad, no man, no fucking father to fuck up the child. Fathers, that's all they do is fuck up the child. So I thought that would have been something great. Maybe she did like that, and that's why she decided to do it again. But see, the point was, Anakin, that was an insane, special, once-in-a-generation anomaly, even in the Star Wars galaxy. Qui-Gon's like, who is the father? And she's like, there was no father. And he's like, what the fuck? This kid's got to be the one. This has to be the one. First of all, his midichlorian counts off the stuff fucking thing, and now you're telling me he's no dad? Never heard of it before. Never seen it before. He has to be the prophet of all prophets. He has to be the one. And then fucking imagine if Shmi Skywalker says, actually, there were a couple of kids about 80, 90 years ago who also did this. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It happened with Coral. There was a lady named Coral who was married with Anastasia. Yeah. And she had a couple kids. She had two. Even better than me. Qui-Gon, she had two. And you just see like Qui-Gon like drinking, just like slowly drinking. Vernestra. Vernestra is like Harvey Keitel in Pulp Fiction. She's like, guys, we don't have time. We got to get rid of this body. Oof. Another movie reference. She wants to be Quentin Tarantino so fucking bad. She obviously was influenced by Tarantino, who, yes, had a lot of movies produced by Miramax, and that includes Harvey Weinstein. Because it's just one fucking movie thing after another. Oh my God. Now they're saying hand holding. I love that. She said she wanted some nice romance at the end. Sorry, kids. This is Leslye Headland's quote. Sorry, kids, but I was just trying to get some Jane Austen in there. Jane Austen. Sorry, kids. She knows it's bad. Seriously, that is someone who not subconsciously, consciously recognizes that Jane Austen doesn't work for fucking Star Wars. But she admits the hand-holding at the very end between Osha and fucking Chimere. Sorry, kids. I was just trying to get some Jane Austen in there. To which Maggie Lovett says, it's the Pride and Prejudice hand touch. To which Leslye Headland says, sorry, babes. What a fucking Hollywood phony. If this fucking Nimrod called me babe, kid. Sorry, babe. I don't know, man. What an absolute obnoxious tool. Sorry, babes. But again, I'm going to shoot my shot here. Listen to this. George Lucas was inspired by so many different films. And also in Clone Wars he was. She doesn't talk well. You know that? Like, that's a sentence. George Lucas was inspired by so many different films. And also in Clone Wars he was. Yep. Yes, he was, Les. Yes, he was. The movies that tended to fit the Star Wars galaxy, like samurai movies and Flash Gordon movies and westerns, because they have a lot of action in them. Not Jane Austen. Have a headache. I got to wrap it up. This wasn't supposed to be this long. I wanted a nice 45-minute episode. Obviously, the end. That last shot was very inspired by the end of Fight Club. Just standing there together, ready to watch the world burn. Yeah, now that she said it, can you see that? Yeah, Edward Norton. And what's her face? Nice looking lady from England who was in the Harry Potter. Helen Bonham Carter. Yep. Helen Bonham Carter. Edward Norton. Holding the hands. Explosions. Yeah. Fight Club. Yeah. Better. Better in Fight Club. Because remember, there was like all kind of explosions going off. And that was cool. And we realized, oh shit, he's like, what is he, like the fucking like head of like a domestic terrorist ring? What the fuck? So maybe this is starting to actually sound like Fight Club. I'm now starting to think that the Acolyte is just some fucking shitty, awful Nickelodeon version of Fight Club. Yeah. Fight Club, standing there together, ready to watch the world burn. Fight Club now. Woo! Ready for this? Here we go. We're going to end with this. Both Amanda and Manny, this is Leslye Headland quote, both Amanda and Manny, when they read the final draft of episode 6, they were both looking at me like, Leslye, just shaking their heads. So the actors knew it was shit! And being like, all right, here we go. But I loved it. I loved playing around with that. This is Leslye Headland's words. I've felt a lot of love for my friends. This sexuality and what they're both playing is so exciting. Star Wars was really sexy to me. I've felt a lot of love for my friends. This sexuality? What? Friends? Sexuality? She says, Star Wars was really sexy to me. Maggie Lovett says, always has been. Leslye Headland, quote, it's sexy. I don't know why, but it is. And I do think a lot of the imagery, it's like, oh my God, but it's true. It's phallic. There's a lot of really incredible pieces of imagery that I think is very subliminal. Subliminal. By the way, there are a lot. There's a lot of really that I think are very subliminal. She's really got bad grammar. Maybe this is why this show is written so poorly. Because it should be, there are a lot of really incredible pieces of imagery that I think are very subliminal. She says, anyway, there's a lot of really incredible pieces of imagery that I think is very subliminal. So again, phallic, subliminal. This is a mentally disturbed woman who fucking watches Star Wars and sees dicks. No one else thinks about fucking dicks and penises and phallic fucking symbols when watching Star Wars. I think of spaceships. I thought the lightsaber was just a cool glowing sword. It's fucking disgusting. You understand that people like me saw Return of the Jedi when I'm 5.5? Do you understand what you're saying when you're talking so much sexuality and phallics and... This isn't me. I know this show is crass. Again, this ain't Star Wars. If I was fucking given the bill, I wouldn't talk like this shit, and I wouldn't have any of my characters talking like this. But shows that are for all families, she's talking a lot about cock. It's fucking gross. Oh my God, it's phallic. There's a lot of really incredible pieces of imagery that I think is very subliminal. No one thinks that. No one watches Star Wars and thinks about penises. No one. I was 5.5 when I saw Return of the Jedi. I wasn't thinking like that. To even put that into Star Wars fandom is so fucking fucked. Bob Iger, grow some balls. Fire her just for that quote. And Kathleen Kennedy, wake your ass up too and apologize to Star Wars fans. That's what we need. She just said that Star Wars is full of subliminal phallic imagery. So everyone who's watched Return of the Jedi, it's not about Ewoks or the Emperor. It's about penis. That's how we're going to end the show. And people have a fucking issue with fucking... They have an issue with why people don't like the Acolyte. It's got nothing to do with political shit. It really doesn't. It's got everything to do with a woman who absolutely does not know how to engage in Star Wars storytelling. She's either she's A, over analytical, but B, her analysis is wrong. Every takeaway that she has is like almost the opposite of what Star Wars stands for. No one sees this? Yes, we all do see it. If you like the Acolyte, good for you. You like eating fucking bowls of shit. Because I am done with the Acolyte fans, because lately every Acolyte fan, it's just fucking, they don't like it because of this reason, that reason. No, I don't like it because of everything that we just pointed out in this article. How much of a dingbat fucking moronic loser Leslye Headland is, and how much she does not understand this fucking show. This franchise. I went long, so I'll talk about Skeleton Crew. I hope Skeleton Crew is good. There you go. That's it. That's my fucking comment for fucking Skeleton Crew. I hope Skeleton Crew is good. I think I'm taking off next week. Unless there's a development between Star Wars and Kathleen Kennedy and Bob Iger. For real. At some point, Disney needs to look at this shit. $180 million to Leslye Headland and her crew of uninformed amateurs? What the fuck? Alright, look. I'm hot. I'm going swimming. So, my social media is at Eastside Dave. Just check, the Twitter or the Instagram or the fucking whatever. I'll post there. I think I gotta take a week off because I'm getting a heart attack from Leslye Headland and from Kathleen Kennedy and from fucking Star Wars ineptitude right now. It's very depressing. And it's depressing that there's a lot of people who see it clearly, and once we vocalize a very honest and sincere opinion, it's, well, you're either a casual fan or just a straight up hater. I'm like, what? I hope you all have a wonderful day, though, and a wonderful week. They'll turn this ship around eventually. I don't know when, but it will get turned around. But it won't be Leslye Headland who does it. And if Kathleen Kennedy thought this fucking numbskull was in any way, shape, or form capable of doing this job, this is a fireable offense. Bob Iger, get them both out for good. Until then, Bob, you're a coward. I love you, Yaddle Heads. Thank you for joining me. Darth David. Have a wonderful week. Be on the lookout for when we do another one of these fucking shows. Until then, may the force be with you. I love you. Goodbye, Yaddle Heads.